Hey everyone, now let's dive straight into looking at our first interval, okay? Now remember, here's all the different intervals that you can find in an octave. Now there's a lot, isn't there? So we're going to break it up and we're going to go through each set of intervals, and then we'll do some tests and then we'll combine. So remember, in this series of ear training videos, we're looking at the difference between two different notes, okay? And always going higher within one octave, and then we'll look at the other way, going lower and then combining the two. But this is a great way to begin. So we're looking at the interval of a perfect unison. So you probably guessed already, they're the same note. So that's what a perfect unison is, okay? It's just the same note. So you're not actually moving higher or lower in pitch. It's just the same pitch. Now in the form of a test, you could think, well, that's pretty easy. That's a giveaway. Well, with guitar, it's not actually that easy because this is the same pitch, okay? Because of where it is with the strings, it sounds a lot different, doesn't it? Even though the pitch is the same, it sounds a lot different, all to do with the thickness of the strings and everything and the different tone. So when you throw the perfect unisons into the mix of all the other intervals, sometimes it can be tricky and sometimes your ear can play tricks on you where it's the same note, so on paper it should be easy to pick up, but just the different strings, the same pitch, even though it's the same pitch on both notes, it can sound a little bit tricky to the ear, okay? So the song that I use to remember the perfect unison is the very first two notes of Happy Birthday. Okay, they're the first two notes, then it continues. But listen again to the first notes. It's the same two notes, okay? It's this, in this example we played a C, or the middle C on the guitar, but it's the same two notes played in succession, or one after the other. Okay, then it changes in the Happy Birthday song. But to begin with, so that's a perfect unison. So as soon as I hear two notes, you know, played in a piece of music, or if I'm trying to learn a riff from another guitarist or another instrument player, if it sounds like the notes really similar, I just sort of try and think in my head, does that sound like the start of Happy Birthday? And if it sounds like that, then chances are it's going to be perfect unison, okay? Now I'm going to play some different examples all around the neck. Now you'll probably think, different examples, they're all going to sound like the same note. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play perfect unisons, meaning two of the same note, and then I'm going to play minor second and major seconds and minor thirds. I'm going to play all the other intervals, but your job is to pick out when you're actually hearing the perfect unison, okay? So I'll do 10 different examples and try and pick out with your ears. Try not to look at the guitar, try, look away or scroll down into the comment section, but just have a bit of a listen and hear when there's the perfect unison. So let's dive in and do some different examples, okay? Now it is going to be very easy if you're just watching my fingers, but again, this is a learning video. But if you do want to test yourself, scroll down into the comment section or close the tab, but keep, the audio running, okay? But here we go. Here's some different examples of perfect unisons mixed in with other intervals, okay? But just listen for when there is the actual perfect unison or the same note played twice, not moving up in pitch. So how did you guys go? Leave some comments below and tell me how you went. Could you hear the difference in every example? Was it easy? Was it hard? Let me know, because how you guys went, that'll determine how the next videos go in our series of tests. But what we'll do is, now that we've learned the perfect unison, and the way of remembering it is, of course, the 2 notes of happy birthday, and then the happy birthday changes. But to begin with, the first 2 notes are a perfect unison and happy birthday. That's how I remember it. Now remember, the best thing about music is take those examples and try and find other songs out there that resonate within you that use that perfect unison. So you've got a list of songs and a list of intervals that as soon as you hear that interval you think, okay, that reminds me of Greensleeves, or that reminds me of my national anthem. Whatever it is, just find other examples that resonate well with you. But for me, the perfect unison always reminds me of the start of happy birthday. Now just take your time, go through this video, listen to the examples until you can pick up on every single example. You know, okay, no, that's not a perfect unison. Oh, yep, that one is a perfect unison, okay? Just take your time, because what we're going to be doing is, after this video, we're going to be jumping into minor seconds and major second intervals, and then we're going to go back and we're going to do some tests and some quizzes on perfect unisons, minor seconds and major seconds. So we're going to throw them all into the works, okay? So it's going to progress. So then we're going to move on to thirds, and then we're going to, after we've learnt what thirds sound like, we're going to come back and we're going to include them all, okay? So take your time with this stuff, but every time you listen to one of these videos and every time you practice, your ears are going to get better and better. Now, speaking of practicing, a great way to practice this stuff is to either listen to some music. Listen to some slow sort of music where there's one instrument that's really prominent, so it's a bit easier for your ears. Listen to the bass line or listen to the melody, and try and hear those different intervals and try and pick up when they're playing unisons, the same note twice. Or move on, if you think you can, move on to, you know, when they're going to play minor seconds or major seconds. Just start listening to music, or you could grab your guitar and just start playing different frets and sort of hearing the difference in all those intervals. But the point is to just start practicing, and the more you do, little by little, your ears will get better and better and better, okay? But well done, guys. That's it for today. See you again. Bye.